Alright, reaction to my own video. Alright, so the video is about how the developing human, okay, the birth control pill would not prevent the pregnancy. Right, the birth control pill would just not prevent the pregnancy, and the baby boy, baby girl will be conceived, okay, and the baby boy will, or the baby girl will continue in through the fallopian tube and then try to implant into the womb of the mother. Okay, there's a new set of DNA there, 50% from the mother, 50% from the father. Right, this is the zygotic genome activation. Right, the zygotic genome activation is a very beautiful thing, right? It's a new set of DNA, 50% from the mother, and that is not a cheap and easy thing, man. A new set of DNA is very precious and very, very valuable. Okay, all right. So this is, a clump of cell. It's a developing human. Okay, it's a zygote. It's a developing human. It's a morula. It's a developing human. As a developing human. Okay, it's a blastocyst. Okay, the blastocyst. Okay, well, what is a blastocyst? It's a developing human. The embryo. It's a developing human, right? The fetus. It's a developing human. The baby. It's my daughter's birthday today. Right, she's literally 3 years old. Right, she was born today, but she was conceived 9 months earlier. But she came out and I saw her face, and exactly 3 years ago, she's my baby girl. And she's 3-year-old. Stealing daddy's heart over here. I love her so much. Right? A developing human. Right? A toddler. A developing human. A child. A developing human. An adolescent. Right? An adolescent. Right? A developing human. Right? So you're not going to be using this around me and saying, oh, yeah, it's just a clump of cells. Okay, so the reaction. Okay, so the whole point about this video is the reaction of the violence. Okay, the violence video. Okay, so I tried to make the violence video. I'm probably going to try to make another one because my thoughts keep, because it's so violent, right? It's so violent. The idea that developing human will not be honored and remembered, not even be given a name or anything, and my literally my baby will be in a wastewater system. Oh man, that is a that is incredibly violent, right? Incredibly violent. That and Dr. Michelle Dow just is okay with that, right? And she gets paid to do that, and we have to pay our property taxes to kill the baby and put the baby not in a cemetery. I mean, it wouldn't be that bad. Like, let's say, for example, somebody gets murdered. Okay, so somebody gets murdered. Okay, so you're gonna probably get them a casket, in a monument, and put him in a cemetery. At least you got that. But no, Dr. Michel now kills the baby, and then the baby doesn't even get a proper burial, okay, and spends the gets dissolved in wastewater next to human waste. Oh, oh. I mean, that idea is just. I mean, this is so. How can I even put that into word? Next to human waste, a precious, you know, and don't get me wrong. I mean, let's say for example, there's a forensic, they will do, a forensic, detective or whatever that will try to find the DNA, was gonna be able to find it because there was some DNA. There was a baby boy, and this baby boy or baby girl's DNA is gonna be there. It's not a cheap and easy thing, right? This is, how are you gonna replicate? You're not gonna be able to replicate this DNA. You're not gonna be able to do it because the only thing you're doing is destroying life, right? All right, so this is the reaction video to this thing, right? So the idea is that the baby boy or baby girl will not have a proper burial, right? Not even be given a name, and will have the body will be literally in the wastewater system, right? Right, in a tank of human waste, right? What an incredibly what a dishonorable legacy that she's leaving behind. What a dishonorable legacy that Dr. Michelle Dow is leaving behind. She's doing that. She's doing that. You know, am I being unfair by criticizing her? Okay, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Okay, prove me wrong. Please, please prove me wrong. I'm begging you to prove me wrong because I don't want to. I don't want this to be true. I do not want this to be true. This certainly wasn't true 100 years ago. There was no birth control pills 100 years ago. Man, imagine that. All right, this is bad. This is bad. One more time. I'm going to say it again. I'm having a hard time to say it. Okay. So you got a developing human that died at a later and very healthy stage of implantation. Just this is what's happening. Okay, and then the baby boy or baby girl, the developing human, will not be given a proper burial, not even be given a name. Right? There's no burial or name or anything like that. No mention of his or her existence, and the clump of cells will be in the wastewater system. And you see why I can't sleep at night, right? You ask why I can't sleep at night. You see what? And my own family's responsible for doing this. My own family, my own cousin, right? It's like my first cousin once removed, or like my dad's immediate family member or something like that, right? Right. This is literally my family doing this. What? Literally, let me say that again, right? The developing human isn't given a proper burial, and the tissue, right? The clump of cells, the baby, will go into the wastewater system next to human waste. Literally touching the human waste. What? What? I mean, that idea, right? That idea is so wrong. That has to stop. Right, and people cannot people just cannot comprehend that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff just cannot be comprehended by these people, right? They just can't. They just reject the idea because they cannot comprehend such evil could exist, and they praise her and they say, "Oh, thank you very much for your work and all this stuff." You know, that to me, I just cannot accept it. I mean that. I mean, you how can you accept something like that, right? All in the name of you're climbing the corporate ladder. Like this woman, she wants to climb the corporate ladder. I don't have time for a baby, or whatever, whatever her idea is. But most of the time, she doesn't even know that the baby is conceived inside her. She doesn't even realize it because the baby will die so early that it will not be noticeable, right? But the baby is surely noticed his or her existence because it's a developing human. Okay, so developing human, right, will be conceived, right? There's a conception there because the birth control pill does not actually prevent conception, right? And the baby boy, baby girl will be conceived. A very special and unique set of DNA because of the zygotic genome activation, right? We talked about that, right? Then the baby boy or baby girl will die. Okay. Then the actual the body, if you will, the actual DNA will be in the wastewater system. Can you imagine? Right? Can you imagine such a violent death? Right. You get cheaped out on life, and then have to spend some time with some human waste in the wastewater system, in the septic tank. Right. Can you imagine that? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I seeing this clearly? Because I mean, this is a wacky idea, right? But it's true. Well, it's not. It's not. I'm not just imagining something, right? You have to think about everything. Like, where's this developing human going to go, right? Where's the DNA going to, exit the womb? It should have been the developing human should have been developing in the womb of the mother, right? But where's the developing human? The the undeveloped, if you will, developing human. Where is this human going to exit out of the body and into the what? Into the let's say for example you're in what? Where are you? Usually people go into a there's human waste, and then they will have the wastewater system, and then that's where the developing human. It's incredible. Oh man. Oh, imagine such a ghastly thing. Imagine for a minute how ghastly that is, right? It's happening every day. What? No, I cannot accept that. Can I? Can we accept that? Is that something that? I gotta go.